Right across the box, it's a big chance.
Great play by the Navy there, fantastic football.
And it's a goal! The Army have an all-important second goal.
Full time in this match, thrilling stuff, especially in the second half.
One game plan, and it's paid off.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the EBB Stadium here, the home of Aldershot Town Football Club, and of course a very familiar home as well to the British Army senior representative team over the last few years. Now we've seen some cracking games here in this stadium over the last few years, and when the RAF comes to town we know there are going to be plenty of goals, and we certainly hope that's going to be the case tonight. Well, tonight both teams of course need a victory. The Army to get their season off to a great start. Of course they are the defending inter-services champions, and for the RAF, well, they suffered a 3-1 reverse 2 weeks ago at Shrewsbury Town, so they know a win is only thing really that they can get tonight to even have a share of that championship. That happened 2 weeks ago in Shrewsbury.
Campbell into the penalty area, great ball, and it's a lovely RAF goal. Ollie Ward looking to make something happen. He's got the confidence after the goal. Can he return the favour for Holmes? Elliot Holmes at Shrewsbury for the Royal Navy against this RAF team. It's the same old story. Drysdale.
Oh, I'll tell you what, going over.
Brilliant from the Navy in this second half. They've deserved every goal they've got.
Well, it was a brilliant second half performance then from the Royal Navy up there at Shrewsbury a couple of weeks ago, and well, they really know what they have to do, the RAF, to reverse things tonight, and for the Army a real chance to turn the screw. Well, let's hear now, shall we, from the two head coaches ahead of the game. Coming up, Alan Brown for the Army, but first the RAF's George Simpson talking to our own Julian Evans.
Chris, you go into this fixture off the back of defeat against the Royal Navy. You know exactly what you have to do. You're after that big W, that victory tonight that keeps you in the hunt of the title.
Yep, it's obviously last week's gone now, but we know what we need to do. So it's kind of the lads know we don't need to go over it. So yeah, we know what to do.
For those of us watching, can we expect a nice, open, exciting fixture because you have to go for that victory?
I think that will naturally happen on a night like tonight, so there's no kind of hiding away from that. So let's see if it plays out like that.
You've already got one fixture under the belt. Does that give you an advantage over the Army, the fact that they're playing catch-up a little bit to the intensity of what is inter-services football?
I think if you play second and third, you've probably got an advantage because you get to see both sides. So I wouldn't say it's an advantage playing first, especially for ourselves who lost the first game. So we just need to do our own thing.
So words from you ringing in your players' ears this evening as they head out onto the pitch. What can we expect from your boys tonight?
We were happy with 64 minutes of last week. We thought we were really good in what we tried to do. The game plan was followed. 12 minutes of kind of madness from us in defending our box. But if we're good instead of 64 minutes, we do that for 90, and we're more clinical, then I think we'll be fine.
Chris, we wish you all the very best for tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Al, you know exactly what you've got to do. You've got to hit the ground running. It's a very short tournament, just those 3 fixtures. You come in the second of those 3. What are you expecting from an RAF side who know they have to win?
I think it's the same as every inter-services game. It's going to be a battle to start with. There'll be lots of work rate, team spirit amongst the 2 teams, and then hopefully a little bit of good football as well.
You, of course, prepared for this by being away in Germany. Did that help in that you got away from the fishbowl, no prying eyes?
I think so. Maybe not so much for the prying eyes, but we've got a few new players in, and that team building exercises, type stuff that we're doing, I think that helped a lot.
Of course, you've seen the success of the under-23 Army side. Does that fuel your own ambitions?
Yeah, so the 23s, that was fantastic. The Masters have got a good result today as well, so puts a little bit of pressure on us. But we're looking forward to getting it started, and we think we're ready to go.
Al, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Well, Alan Brown there, and Chris Hamilton, of course, talking to Julian Evans, looking ahead to the game. And we are looking forward to a cracking match tonight, and it's a great pleasure for me to welcome to us for the first time on commentary this evening, the former Army Masters head coach, Carl Lawrence, who's got such a great pedigree himself in the game. Carl, welcome along, and a very warm welcome as the players bang on cue are joining us out on the pitch.
Thank you, looking forward to a great tie tonight. Last time I was involved in this, I was the other side of the fence. So it's nice to be, well, it's strange being on this side of the fence, but looking for a good tie tonight. We
certainly are, and of course both teams have plenty to prove. The Army, as we've already said, defending champions, and they'll want to get themselves off on a high. But maybe the players just about to be introduced to the VIPs who are going to come out onto the pitch now to be introduced. So while that's happening, and there's a good array of VIPs coming out actually in a moment, let's a chance to go through the 2 teams, shall we? And we'll start off with the Royal Air Force. And well, they've got, if you look down their team, Carl, they've got, such players who've got incredible pedigrees already at UCAF experience. You only have to look at the back with Brodie Gray, Phil Bright, Danny Dixon. I mean, he's been around since 2004. Yeah. They have got such a pedigree. Mike Campbell up front as well. Yeah. And they didn't really produce the goods, did they, 2 weeks ago? No, they didn't, and they'll have a lot to prove tonight. They know what's on the line. They know they've got to come out fast and give us a good test. It'll be a good battle tonight. They've got a good array of experience and youth within that team, and I'm sure that the experience will shine in both sides tonight. And some newcomers as well, I'm sure. Joe Spalding as well, another player who stands out there. And on the bench, they've certainly got some newcomers. And someone who's not necessarily a newcomer as well, Danny Bartlett, I think, is in there at number 19. Whether he'll actually get a game or not will depend on a lot of other things. As far as the Army's concerned, well, Carl, obviously a lot more about them. Luke Carney in goal. What a record that he has as well. Craig Stevenson, Alfie Rogers, they are so strong at the back, aren't they? Yeah. But up front, a player that we're looking forward to seeing this evening, Kershwin Johnny, wearing number 9 tonight. He apparently is razor sharp striker. Yeah, it's what they'll need tonight. I've not seen much of a Kershwin, but I know he's technically good. It will cause them a lot of problems, and hopefully he'll get him running behind all night tonight and get a few goals. So the VIPs have been introduced, led by Air Vice Marshal Jason Appleton. They're the president of the RAF Football Association, and also Colonel David Jones, the chairman of Army Football, and Dean Wood, the chair of Aldershot Town. Time now for the national anthem. Well, Carl, you mentioned obviously, your massively close links with Army football over the years. What do the players and the managers and the coaches go through in these moments leading up to the game?
Well, they're fully focused. They've been training the last couple of weeks now, some really solid training camps by all accounts. So it's almost like they'll be prepared tonight. They'll be fully prepared for any scenario. It'd be nice to see them get off to a good start.
The Army, of course, have been, I think, over in Germany, and they had a very good victory, a couple of victories over there against some local teams over there. Should mention as well the Masters, because you've obviously got a lot of connections with the Masters. They had a 3-2 victory this afternoon, I believe, against the RAF.
Yeah, I always like to see the Masters start off, sort of like set the tone, set the scene for the rest of the tournament. And with them getting a good start, the message has already been passed down to the first team, so that will get the first team starting the game with full of confidence.
And who, as far as the players to look out for, we've obviously been through a couple of them just in the build-up there, but there are some very exciting players to look out for. I was talking to Sean Woolley earlier on. Of course, he scored an absolute corker of a free kick, which went such a long way to helping the Army to win last season's inter-services. They're full of confidence, aren't they, this Army team? Yeah,
I mean, Sean Woolley's a good one. I've played against him as a player. I've managed against him. I've managed teams who played against him as well, and he's very unpredictable. So hopefully tonight we'll get the Sean Woolley we all know.
Yeah, rather than the Sean Woolley who argues with everything and everybody and can have a habit of getting himself a yellow card or even worse.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, I know Sean very well, actually, but he's a good lad and very much at heart, and so looking forward to tonight. I think being a dad has really helped him settle him down as well. As far as the RAF's concerned, well, as we've said, they've got an awful lot to try and make up. Interesting that Matt Laycock in goal tonight for them, and he's making his debut at inter-services level tonight for the RAF in replace of Christian Pollock-Brigg. I think Christian obviously has been injured, so he's not really been in the setup. But again, they've got some great players. I mean, I've watched people like Phil Bright, Brodie Gray, produce some great stuff for UCAF over the last few years, and they won't want to go out tonight on a certainly, with a wooden spoon, which is what would happen if they lost tonight. Yeah, the RAF Army is always the biggest tie of the IS, I say. Navy's a big one, but it's always, the Army and the RAF, that goes way back. There's a lot of history there. Let's mention for the officials tonight, who all come from the senior service and the Royal Navy. Referee is Sam Hadfield this evening, with his two assistants, Michael Clements and Lee Dudlem. And our fourth official is Dave Morrie. They were trying to tell me earlier on that he should be known as David and Sir, but actually he doesn't like all that sort of nonsense. But he has promised that when there are changes, that he'll be making sure that signboard is floated in our direction so that we can see it. So that's absolutely fine. So we are just about ready to get underway here at the EBB Stadium as the clock ticks round towards 7 o'clock. I think it's going to be just slightly earlier kick-off tonight, but no problem about that at all. And wherever you're watching, of course, you're extremely welcome. We'd love to give you a mention if you can, wherever you are tuning in to watch our broadcast this evening live here on our Forces News YouTube channel. So just about ready to go. The referee just checking, making absolutely sure it's going to be the Army kicking off in their all-red strip, kicking from right to left as we look from the main stand here at the EBB Stadium. A great home, of course, of Army football, and I mentioned that earlier on. There's one of the few grounds, actually, in fact, it's probably the only ground that actually has an Army flag in the corner fluttering, even though this is obviously not a Football League ground at the moment, but it certainly is a stadium that plays an awful lot of football outside of the military, of course. But to have the Army flag here, I know, means an awful lot to the players. So, the Army then getting themselves looking for an early break, and straight away it's Johnny on the ball on this left-hand side, gets the crossover, but it goes not where he wanted it, and it's a chance for the Air Force to clear their lines. But already, I'm told that this lad is quite a player, non-stop striker, and he'll play off the shoulder of his defenders, which is. Defenders hate that, don't they, Cole? What I love about that is an early ball in behind, so straight away he's giving them something to think about. He looks leggy, he looks pacey, and he's looking like he's willing to run in behind. So it's an early message to the back three of the RAF. It is Just sort of looking out there on that far side of the field, it'll be Phil Bright who will be taking that throw in for the RAF, and no doubt all his family are watching. They're our biggest fans, I think, on BFBS when it comes to watching the RAF playing. But early touches for Danny Dixon. Got a big role to play tonight. Danny Dixon, who has been involved with RAF football amazingly since 2004, 2 decades, 90 plus UCAF caps alone.
It's amazing.
He is an extraordinary player, and he's on the ball right now.
Yeah.
Lays it forward. It's a nice header from Mike Campbell there. Another throw to the RAF, showing their intentions early on. Here's Gray, and that will go back. Campbell, nice touch from him, beats off a couple of challenges. RAF looking dangerous here on this right-hand side as Josh Story-Randall gets the ball wide, and it goes out for the first corner of the game to the RAF. So it's a good start from both of these teams, Carl.
Yeah, already end-to-end. This guy on the wing here, I can't see his name, but it looks like he's demonstrating good pace, and he's willing to get at young Clay Bryant, the left-back. So we've got to make sure he's not isolating Bryant, and we help him out there.
Well, it's going to be Phil Bright, I think, to take a corner coming in from he's moved across to the right-hand side. Takes the corner. Campbell's on the end of it. Eventually it's cleared, though, by the Army defence as they try to establish themselves, but it's a good start to this game for the Air Force so far. But the Army pushing forward now with Dario Meadows. Meadows still beating off a couple of challenges, plays it out wide onto the right-hand side.
Good. Move the ball quick.
Jack Barber goes out to Phillips. Decides to go back in the end to Steve-O, to Craig Stevenson, wearing the captain's armband for the Army this evening, and Luke Kearney getting himself involved. Rogers, well cut out in the end.
It's not bad from Rogers, to be fair. I'm intrigued to see how Rogers is today, because he likes to step in with the ball and it always creates that extra man, so it's good to see that confidence with him stepping out with the ball and not just launching it.
Army then with the throw. Here's Clay Bryant. Sean Woolley getting involved, and Johnny as well. The referee says that was an unfair challenge, so it's going to be a free kick to the Royal Air Force. Just 4 minutes played here at the EBB, 0-0 if you're just joining us tonight.
Referee setting his stall out early there. Obviously not one for a lot of physical contact, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Jason Appleton is looking after things tonight, the man in the middle, in his bright fluorescent green top. RAF then. Nice charge forward, and Campbell was marauding there, had to be dealt with by Craig Stevenson, which he did very well, and that's the first ball gone out of the ground tonight. I'm sure it won't be the last.
If in doubt, put it out.
Absolutely.
Big Steve-O. You don't mess about.
George Haynes says, RAF with the wooden spoon, holy moly, I hope not. But come on the Army, especially Craig Stevenson from Skye and Fraser. They're watching tonight. But it's the Air Force who have it on this right-hand side of the field with Brodie Gray. Decides to go back. Danny Dixon to Mike Goddard, scored the opening goal of the Inter-Services campaign for the RAF.
Ball, nice switch.
That's a lovely ball out to that left-hand side. Brighty making a run, but it's going to be crossed and well cut out by Lee Phillips in the end, but the ball does come in. Ooh. Campbell gets the header, and that is turned around brilliantly by Luke Kearney for a corner. Well, that was flying in. That was going in, Cole.
Yeah, initially he did really well. Lee Phillips has got to be careful, don't get isolated out there. So the closest midfielder has gone across to support Lee Phillips, which then prompted the RAF guy to set it back, but then they've got to stop that cross from coming in.
Well, it was great work from the Air Force. They've set their stall out. They really are going for it in these early moments of this first half. Good to see from a light blue point of view. Corners charged down.
Got to get out now.
Yeah, Squeeze. It was good work then from Sean Woolley. That'll be dealt with by the Air Force, but only just. Ball falls to Liam Smith. Out wide then onto that far side. Nice turn, but eventually only finds an Army player, only finds Dario Meadows. But
and the RAF look like they're set up with a high press. They're shutting the defenders down quite quickly.
They certainly settle better of the two teams in these early moments, haven't they, Carl?
Yeah.
But it's harmlessly out for a goal kick, and Luke Kearney will just slow things down a bit. He won't be anxious to rush this. I'm forgetting this is the Army's first time out, and it always takes a while, doesn't it? You know, for your team just to bed themselves in. There's a lot of debate about whether it's advantageous to be first out of the season and play those first two games, which of course the RAF are doing.
Yeah.
You don't really have much choice about it in the end, I suppose. Aaron Ayatt there with the touch.
I think if you prepare properly and you've been training, you know, you want to get out there as quick as you can. You want to get on the grass and play, get the ball rolling.
And make no mistake, you know, apart from UCAF, these games are the biggest games of the year for our military players in these inter-services matches. So important for them. Joe Spalding. Back to Phil Bright. And he spreads it wide onto the right-hand side to Brodie Gray. Gray looking for Campbell, finds him. And that's going to be not a free kick. I think Mike Goddard thought it was an unfair challenge. The RAF do get the free kick in the end, but for a slightly different misdemeanour. What will have surprised a lot of people is how the RAF faded in their opening game against the Navy, because they started like this against the Royal Navy and deservedly took the lead at Shrewsbury. But the Navy came right back at them. A game, as I said, that always promises goals. I hope that's not a commentator's curse tonight. That's really nice work from the Air Force. The ball goes in. Campbell is surely going to score. He hasn't.
I thought he was right on cue then.
He was absolutely through. It was great work again from Goddard. Just playing it back, laying it on a plate for Campbell, really.
Yeah, should have done better. And
he will feel he should have scored. At the end of the day, they get another corner. But, well, a superb ball again from Aaron Ayatt, finding his way through, splitting the defence. And the Air Force really should be ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Steve-O, to be fair to him, he's big, strong lad, great with everything in front of him. They start slipping the balls down the sides, you know, that's where he might get caught for pace. And him and Alfie have got to sort of cover each other. Yeah.
What can the Army do on the break here? Just challenging the young goalkeeper, the new keeper, Matt Laycock. Gray, Campbell comes back to receive it, but instead it goes to Sean Woolley on this left-hand side. Woolley is challenged by Campbell. Fairly, says the referee. Not surprisingly, I suppose, that Woolley didn't agree with that.
Yeah, should have done better there. A little bit too easy. Got pushed off the ball a bit too easy. What I don't like to see is, you know, if you push off the ball, if you lose the ball, it's what your reaction after you've lost the ball. So rather than moaning at the referee, get up and go and win the ball back.
Meadows across to Bryant. And Alfie Rogers really established himself in this team and at UCAF as well. Good header there from Johnny as well, from Kishwan Johnny, who we're expecting a lot of him tonight.
He looks quite useful. He looks like he's good in the air, very athletic, looks quite strong. I don't think we've seen everything from him yet, but we need to use him.
That's nice work then from the RAF's Aaron Ayat, who will cover every blade of grass on this pitch tonight. Very, very reliable player. Brodie Gray wins the throw of Sean Woolley.
It's interesting to see what happens in the transitions. You know, that'll be the real decider. The RAF sides tend to punish sloppy transitions, so the Army need to be sharp.
Good work from Mike Goddard again. He wins the throw for the Air Force, and they've made quite a lot of ground down this side of the pitch. Fantastic night for football. No wind at all. Lovely mild night for the players to produce their best. Here come the Army then.
Send him.
Randall, Story Randall. Yeah, the offside flag. He knew he was offside, didn't he?
He wanted the ball earlier there. He had to check his run. But
Jack Barber's through ball.
If they're playing a high line, they're giving him space in behind and they're playing a dangerous game. We've got to identify that and hit him early.
Well, you know, you've already seen how fast the number 9 is. If they're playing that high line, as you say, it could be a dangerous game.
Yeah.
But it's the Air Force who've had the better of the chances so far in these first 12 and a half minutes. And here's Sean Woolley. Oh, that's a great challenge there from Danny Dixon. Paul Carter says, come on RAF, surely Danny Dixon started before 2004. I don't know, Paul, actually. That's what the official figures say. Maybe that is what Danny has told us. Maybe it was 1984. Anyway, here come the Air Force once more. Ball spread wide onto that left-hand side. Good move coming in. And Goddard looking for a bit of space to get the shot in.
I shouldn't.
Oh,
I'll let him turn there.
Well, it could have gone just about anywhere there. But Army living a bit dangerously at the back at the moment.
That's nice. Nice to see.
The referee says play on, but that was a challenge on Goddard. It was I don't think it was a deliberate one. He was obviously playing the ball. Was Kershwin Johnny there?
Yeah, it was a great first.
He just caught him at the end, and these players don't usually go rolling around unless they've got a reasonable reason to do so. Mike Goddard is up on his feet again.
Yeah, big strong lad, Michael Goddard. You know, it just makes me wonder if the shoe was on the other foot there, whether they would have stopped and kicked out a player, or whether they carried on. You know, I might forget of playing to the whistle, and the whistle wasn't blown, so he would have took advantage of that.
It was interesting that Sean Woolley stopped playing there. I mean, I think he probably felt it, from his angle, that it probably was going to be a whistle blown for a free kick. Anyway, away we go. We carry on. Goddard straight back into the action with Phil Bright. Johnny collects it, and already he's lay off just a little bit too hard, I think. I'm not quite sure whether Clay Bryant is going to be able to get that in. But again, he's working so hard, isn't he, the young number 9?
So it showed some good early signs, good first touch, good speed, very leggy. Just a lack of concentration there. Needs to do better.
Remains 0-0 here in this second match in the Inter-Services Senior Men's Football Championship. We've got the women's game, of course, tomorrow afternoon, which we'll be showing live. And that'll be coming to you live from Bracknell Town Football Club, which is just down the road, of course, from here. 3 o'clock kickoff.
Interesting. Sorry. Interesting to see number 9, Michael Campbell's movement. He's very intelligent forward. He likes to drop in, and he also likes to run in behind. And he's got good first touch. He's quite strong as well. He's been around the block a bit, so
he certainly has.
Yeah.
He's another of these highly established RAF players.
Yeah.
Dixon, lovely ball out wide onto that left-hand side. Army, though, have it. Long ball forward, aiming for Johnny. But Dixon deals with it for now. You can see where they wanted it to go.
Yeah. Good.
Bit of head tennis. Johnny gets in there. Good challenge. Gets the shot in, and it's just wide. Well, that just goes to show he was, what, 30 yards out there, and he still got the shot in, and that caused some mayhem at the back.
Lively. Very lively.
I mean, he wasn't even on his feet, was he, when he took that shot there? Looks like the Army might have found themselves a bit of a star.
Yeah, definitely.
Non-stop striker. Non-stop action so far here at Aldershot Town. It remains 0-0. Yeah, that was definitely a push there on Mikey Campbell.
Yeah, he's looking for it. He's looking to lay it off. I mean, that's definitely as a number 9. He's looking to have 2 touches maximum. As the ball's coming to his feet, he's having to take 2 and 3 touches, giving our defender an opportunity to get up close to him. You know, so that's one thing I've noticed. When it goes into his feet, he's not got a lot of support.
He's coming so deep for the ball as well.
He is, yeah. Which can work if he's dropping in deep. As long as he's got runners in behind him, then there's a good game plan. But
a lot of space in the midfield as well for both teams at the moment. A lot of gaps. That's intelligent play from Davo Meadows there. Wearing the number 7 for the Army. I'm sure both coaches as well will be looking to their benches later on in the game. There's plenty of experience, and also a lot of newcomers on the benches too, which we're excited to be watching. Players maybe who come through from the under-23s. I'm very sad not to see Buster Reed out on duty for the Army tonight, but I know that he picked up an injury in that under-23 game a couple of weeks ago, which we showed, which were down at Winchester in the appalling weather down there for that. I don't know how those players produced a 5-goal thriller, but they did. But Buster didn't make the full 90 minutes, took an injury. Hope that he's on the road to recovery. But not involved, obviously, with the senior squad here.
It's nice to know we've got players like that in the wings, though. You know, he's a great little player. Full of energy.
Well, that was certainly given the full treatment there by Danny Dixon. Straight out of play, out of the ground, another lost ball.
I like to see Luke Kearney giving Johnny a bit of a rollick in there for not getting hold of the ball, you know, and Johnny acknowledged. Shows he cares. Yeah. That first touch means everything. Yeah. That's what you want.
Long throw comes in, dealt with by the Air Force defence, and that will be harmlessly going for a goal kick. Yeah, Luke Kearney, yeah, undisputed number 1. 10 years he's been in the Army setup now. And I'm told he's like a Marmite sandwich. Hungerford Town love him, yeah, and a lot of people the opposite. Opposition, the
well,
opposite.
If you're a footballing man and you love football, you love him, because that's what you want. You want something like, you want a keeper like that behind you, somebody who can see the whole picture, and is you know, talking to you throughout. That's what defenders want behind him.
And even from our position here, we can hear him shouting the odds to the rest of the team.
Yeah,
a real leader at the back there. He's got some great leadership, obviously, in this Army team as well, with Craig Stevenson as well. Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. Sorry, I've been looking forward to saying that.
I was waiting for you to pull the face as well.
Jordan. Nice work from him, approaching the box, looking for the shot. Oh, and he scored a cracking goal. That is a magnificent shot there from Henry Jordan to give the Air Force the lead. Well, he did it all on his own, didn't he? He came in there from that left-hand side and rifled it into the net, came inside into the 18-yard box and absolutely smashed it home. I don't think there's many goalkeepers who could save that. Well, the RAF take the lead here 1-0 in this inter-services fixture. 20 minutes played. It's the Army 0, RAF 1.
Yeah, he's cut inside there. They've let him run inside, but as a defender there, I'm expecting Steve-O to step in and engage. Stop the shot.
Well, that really has brought this game to life. And I suppose you have to say, Cole, the RAF deserve it. They've certainly had the better of the chances, haven't they, in this first 20 minutes? And well, them scoring here now is absolutely, but it's going to really liven this game up, really bring it to life, because both teams obviously need a win here. But this is the perfect start really for the RAF for this evening, for Chris Hamilton and his players.
Yeah, we're looking for reaction now from the Army players. I mean, in the first 10 minutes, they've had three corners, the RAF, and 3 shots on goal, and the 4th shot they've scored. So, you know, there's no room. We started a little bit slow. We need to step it up now. It's how we react now to that.
Yeah, it'll be a real test now then for Alan Brown's boys, and for Mr. Brown's boys, and we'll see what how they can respond here. But well, when you get goals like that, it is absolutely terrific. It makes a game so special.
So much space in the middle of the park. We're not using that space well enough. You know, the gap between the midfield and the defenders coming out, they're looking up, and there's almost no movement. You've got Woolley, Johnny, and the right-sided player all on the same line, looking for the same ball. If Johnny comes short and looks for feet in there, then they can at least run in behind and look for the 3rd man run.
And the Air Force have played this very intelligently so far as well. They're obviously working on that and seeing the opportunities that provides for them. Here's Bryant. Johnny picks it up. He finds Woolley. Woolley beats a couple of players, still not going too far. Ball goes wide. Barber, and it's lost again. Here's Campbell. It's just a bit of a breakdown for the Army so far. Important defensive work there, keeping Joe Spalding at bay. But the RAF once again have a chance to bring it forward.
Jack Barber just taking too long on the ball there. You know, before he receives the ball there, he needs to know where his next pass is. He's received the ball, he's turned out, he's took 3 or 4 touches, and they've engaged him and took the ball off him. Got to move the ball quicker.
Tom Richardson says, brilliant finish, Henry. Great to see him back playing Army there for the taking. Come on, the RAF. That's certainly an RAF view that we're getting live on our Forces News YouTube channel this evening. But it's a well won now by Jack Barber. Brings it forward, looking for some support. But again, good defensive work from the Air Force. Phil Bright mopping it all up. And here's Jordan, who scored that wonder goal. Terrific effort.
Yeah, it was a good goal by Jordan there. Put it exactly where you knew the keeper can get, into the side netting of the other side.
It's just so much better from the Air Force tonight than we saw certainly in the second half last time out at Shrewsbury. But early doors yet. Here's Sean Woolley, just looking for a bit of support. Takes a wide punt down that right-hand side, and on the end of it is Liam Silver into the box, looking for some support. But it's the Air Force who bring it clear. Good intelligent play from them. That's lovely work. And here's Josh Story-Randall now going through, scything through the defence. He's got some support. He's got more support then from Henry Jordan. Again, Jordan goes to the right and gets that cross in, and there'll be an RAF person on the end of it, and that is going to be Aaron Ayet. Brodie Gray with a cross, Campbell with a header. Air Force really sensing blood at the moment, Carl. They really think they can make the most of this situation, because they are dominating this match at the moment. They have this 1-0 lead. It could easily have been more.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier on about the transitions. You know, in the RAF, they're usually good in the transition. You know, that we didn't react. Defensive transition, immediate reaction on the turnover and the counter press straight away on the counter attack, and nearly led to another goal. But I said it at the start of the game, RAF will punish sloppy transitions. So if they're losing the ball, the RAF will punish them. They've got pace, they've showed they've got pace, and they're direct.
Well, this first half certainly belonging to the Air Force at the moment. Army need to just really try and re-establish themselves in this game. With 25 minutes played here, RAF leading 1-0. But that's a loose pass again from Alfie Rogers. RAF can't quite believe it, I don't think. Ayat plays it outside to Gray. The UCAF players linking well together. Liam Smith outside to Goddard. Well, the Joe Spalding having a go this time.
Sometimes that obvious ball is the ball to play. You know, he was looking at him there and obviously passed it wide of him, but just give him the ball. At the same time, he's got to demand the ball off him.
Spalding gets the cross in. Cabell on the end of it. Goes wide. Another chance for the Air Force. I mean, to be fair, Luke Henry's only had to make one save so far. There was nothing he could do about the goal. But the shots are firing in at the moment.
We've got to do better stopping the crosses coming in. Do better stopping the number 8.
Alfie Rogers just telling the guys to calm down a little bit, just to play your game. But to be fair, the Air Force have really worked so hard, and a bit of a break in play at the moment. I think all players are going to take a drinks break here. Let's have another look at that goal, shall we? Because it really was an absolutely superb effort from the Air Force, and great individual work, you know, from them. And you know, Henry Jordan, it's Jordan actually who's getting some treatment as well, but he absolutely blasted that ball in, came in from the left-hand side, just saw the space in the 18-yard box and absolutely let fly. It's a cracking goal. It's a sort of goal that brings an Inter-Services Championship to life, and you know, great work from him on his right foot, just picks it up and fires it home. Superb effort. But he is receiving some treatment at the moment, so we hope that he's going to be okay and can carry on. He's been down for a while. Chance for both the head coaches to maybe get a few instructions on board. I wonder what Alan Brown's going to be saying to his boys at the moment, Carl.
Yeah, they're just saying look after the ball better. You know, looking a little bit sloppy with a lot of the passes, and they're punishing us for it. You know, hopefully he's got, well, that's not hopefully, he'll have a plan B, you know, and sometimes slowing the game right down is not the way. You know, we need to lift it a little bit and use Johnny's pace. So if we need to go direct at times and get them running towards their own goal, let's do that. Defenders hate running towards their own goal, and I haven't seen enough of it from them.
By the way, you are allowed to say hopefully. You are Army. we're playing it, so obviously we've had RAF support for the RAF's home game. We'll have the same for the Navy for their home match. And this is a real shame, because the man who's having to lead the field is Henry Jordan, who has made a great contribution, but that is going to be his last contribution to the game. 28 minutes gone. Jordan has to go off. He's going to be replaced by Reese Harbottle, who's going to come on at number 14.
Big lad, doesn't look like a winger. Looks like they're staying in the middle.
They're going to have to just sort of reorganise things, I think, with Reese. He's back after a lengthy time out himself through injuries, so he's eager to get back into the game. The corporal, Reese Harbottle. And so that's such a shame, actually. I'm really sad for Henry Jordan, who you know, made a terrific contribution. He's got the goal that separates these two teams at the moment, but it's the Army, hopefully for them, reinvigorated somewhat by some stern words from the head coach.
Yeah, that's what we was talking about there. It's interesting because Alfie, he straight away put a ball in behind. He's technically a great player, young Alfie. Alfie Rogers. This one direct ball in behind, got them running towards their own goal. We've got a long throw. You know, set pieces win games. Utilise this throw now. Win the first ball, lock onto the second ball, let's get in the back of the net.
Lee Phillipsen with the throw. Comes in, it's well headed clear by the Air Force defence. The Army still have it. They try and recycle this again, but instead it goes back to the goalkeeper. The RAF are just working harder.
Yeah. As soon as the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, it allows them to get back into their shape. You know, I'd rather him go, keep him in there, go forward.
Well, that is a free kick. The challenge going in from Danny Dixon there. Too hefty on Jack Barber. And this is a real opportunity for the Army to get parity here. this free kick in a very dangerous position, just outside the 18-yard box. And we know who knows what to do when it comes to free kicks. And he's on the ball now.
Well, those who
Sean Woolley.
Those who have played under me and those who know me know I love my set pieces. So it'll be interesting to see how well drilled this set piece is. Set pieces do win games.
Well, the RAF putting in a 5-man wall here, being marshalled by the goalkeeper, being marshalled by Matt Laycock. But Sean Woolley will fancy this. It's just on the edge of the box, so 19 yards out. It's a direct free kick. He's clearly going to go for goal. And we all know what he can do with set pieces. He scored an amazing free kick last season in the Army's championship winning season. So,
for the second ball.
Woolley there. Takes it, scores!
Great
and you almost knew he was going to get that
100%,
goal.
100%. Again, you know, when you've got people like Sean Woolley in the team who can take a set piece like that, you know, he's done it for years. You know, why not go down in and around the box?
Well,
and get him on the ball.
It was beautifully taken, and it was actually laid on a plate for him, really. The wall just wasn't anywhere near it, and so you can tell what it means to him to get that goal. I mean, Sean's not been putting himself about too much on this pitch. He's actually moved in a different position, actually. He's moved across onto the right-hand side from the left, but it was a beautifully taken free kick. We've had 32 minutes gone here, and we've seen two cracking goals. One, a brilliant free kick there to level it up for the Army, and well, it was Henry Jordan scoring the opening goal for the RAF.
Found a bit of energy now, Sean Woolley.
Well, it's amazing what a goal does, isn't it? It suddenly energises a team.
No, exactly that. You know, and we go back to where it all came from. It was one ball in behind. You know, we pinned him in there, got a free kick, and we capitalised on it. So sometimes the direct is the way forward.
Johnny to Silva.
I think Sean Woolley's in the that transition period now, where he's, you know, he's a little bit older, a little bit wiser. You don't expect the old Sean Woolley who's running up and down the wing. So I think it being in there will suit him more. Just get him on the ball.
He's moved into a more central position now, coming away from that left-hand side. Offside flag goes up against Dario Meadows to give the RAF the break. Well, the RAF were disappointed because they have been the better of the two teams. There's no doubt about that in the opening half hour. But the Army are back in it. That break, in a way, did them the world of good, didn't it? Just allowed them to reset. They won that free kick, and that's not an easy. That just outside the box is not an easy place for free kicks, is it? Because, you know, particularly you've got to bend the ball around the wall. But Sean Woolley did that superbly well.
He's technically a great player, Sean. I've seen him do that time and time again. He knew exactly where he was putting that ball.
I did say to him earlier, actually, well, you'll be looking forward to a possibility of a free kick. And he said, yeah, you could say that. But it's 1-1 here. Evenly matched, evenly poised now. Just after half an hour played. But we did promise you goals. We've had 2 in the first half hour. That's not bad.
And they just ran into each other there.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate collision, wasn't it? Kershaw and Johnny has gone down. He's holding his head. Just really came as a result of that, from that throw. It was it was off the ball. It was a clash. But he seems to have come off the worst.
Just as the momentum swung.
There's a clash with Aaron Iat there as well, and you can't take any chances with head injuries. He's quite a bit taller, of course, than Aaron Iat, and I think it was an unfortunate incident. He is down. Just being checked over by the doctors. Well, the incident that led to that free kick, of course, for the Army was right on the edge of the box, and I think possibly Danny Dixon will feel a bit hard done by, but nevertheless, it was given, and the result was a superb equaliser for the Army. It looks like Kershaw and Johnny is going to be able to come back onto the pitch. He's just waiting now that mandatory 30 seconds before he's allowed back on, and he's now way back onto the field. Evenly poised, 1-1 here if you just joined us in this second inter-services game of the senior men's season. It's the RAF pushing forward with Phil Bright. He goes down. He's not happy with that challenge, and a bit of needle creeping into the game, which is, you know,
I don't like to say it, but I think it was a good free kick to give, because they had the momentum there, and there was, I think it was 4 on 3.
Is he a bit lucky not to escape a yellow card?
Yeah, probably. It was a clever professional foul.
And it's Aaron Ayatt who's over the ball.
We just started to get the momentum then as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, when Phil Bright's in full flight, you know, he's difficult to hold off.
Phil Bright in full flight.
They're coming out tonight, aren't they? I should be a rapper. I'm told by my director I'm not, so I'll have to take her word for it. Cross comes in then from the free kick. That'll be easily dealt with by the keeper, and straight away the Army on the counter attack. That's a lovely turn, brilliant bit of work there from Liam Silver, but it's snuffed out by the Air Force, and they are in turn going forwards. And safety first for Alfie Rogers, puts that ball out of play.
Nice to see a little bit more urgency from the Army, from Kearney there as well. I think early on was putting the foot on the ball, letting them get the shape, but there was a quick break. He's technically good enough to do that as well.
Gray with the throw then. On this near side. Ayatt gets the clearance in. Sean Woolley clears the ball eventually.
Second balls.
Yeah. Dixon back to his goalkeeper. Being chased down by Johnny, who there's a bit of a tussle between those two afterwards. I don't think either of them came out of it with a huge amount of credit, but the Air Force will play on. And here's the substitute who's come on for them, Reece Harbottle. To say, back from injury, good to see him back in action again for the Air Force. Ball, lovely ball out from Phil Bright, wide onto that left-hand side. Again, it's been a source of real irritation for the... a great opportunity for Josh Story-Randall there. It opened up for him and he miskicked it.
Yeah, I think he just sat up.
A real let-off for the Army again, but brilliant work from Joe Spalding down on that left-hand side. That's been a real source of success for the Air Force so far in this game. Aaron Ayatt now, he takes the ball to the left with Phil Bright. Out to Spalding again. Spalding taking on his right back, taking on Lee Phillips. Cross comes in. Several players underneath it. Army just hoping to see that it's going out of play, but it hasn't done. Collected by Goddard, and he'll win the throw.
I think it's just important that Lee Phillips is not isolated out there. You know, in the closest midfield, he gets across and just double up and delay him. He's showing some real good pace, the young RAF lad out there.
Lovely cross coming in. Not defended by the Army. And Brodie Gray once more with a dangerous cross. Well, Army certainly have to tighten up at the back if they're going to prevent the RAF from getting another goal. Ayatt. Ball goes wide onto that right-hand side then with Liam Smith, and out to Phil Bright. Bright. This time to Spalding again, looking for a bit more space. Comes inside, still got the ball. Great work from Joe Spalding, gets the shot in,
Did well.
but it's comfortably saved in the end by Luke Kearney. But great work again from Joe Spalding there, looking very, very dangerous on this left-hand side.
Yeah, Joe Spalding showing some great skills, good feet, good pace. Shouldn't really let him get that far, you know, without being engaged, so, and get the shot off. That's where the goal came from, the first goal for them. It's
been a very entertaining first half, Carl, so far from both teams.
Yeah,
Good tackle from Sean Woolley.
Army have stepped it up. It's good to see.
Well, they had to, didn't they?
Yeah, 100%. Sort of going through the motions for the first 20 minutes.
Bryant then with the throw. So comes straight back to him. There's Bryant again. Dixon with the clearance. Oh, that was quite a late challenge. Referee agrees with Aaron Hyatt there. That was a bit of a late challenge for the on-the-flight lieutenant.
Let them out too easy there. Johnny's letting them out too easy. When the ball goes dead, that's when you switch on. You know, like this level, I'll say this level, it's a good level, but the lower levels you get when the ball goes out of play, players tend to switch off. You know, that's the moment when you need to switch on, when the ball goes dead. Get your shape and be prepared to react.
Dixon. Oh.
Good strong header.
Bit of a sandwich there, a bit of an Army sandwich, shutting out there Josh Story Randall. He's still getting over that, I think, and he took a bit of a hammering there, and he's still getting over it.
Big Alfie Rogers, a big strong lad, isn't he? Like running into a brick wall. But technically a good player, very commanding.
Yeah.
That's what he's there for.
Story Randall seems to be okay. He's looking a little bit dazed. I'm going to keep an eye on him. Goddard. Campbell. Nice work from Mikey Campbell again. Lovely through ball, just trying to find there his winger there, trying to find Joe Spalding. Good defensive cover from Lee Phillips. And the Army win that free kick. So just a couple of minutes left before half time. We will have I'm sure, a couple of minutes of stoppage time. There was a bit of a break there, obviously, for the injury to Kirsch and Johnny, and also for Henry Jordan as well, who sadly had to leave the field. But this game has really opened up since that Army equaliser. It's well, anybody's game, and we will be awaiting with great interest further goals. I'm absolutely sure about that. A draw no use to either team, really. Both teams need to win this. The RAF, for their need, is obviously huge, having lost that first fixture a couple of weeks ago. 3-1 to the Royal Navy. Quite a lot of Royal Navy personnel here tonight are watching with great interest. Obviously the Navy-Army clash will be next Wednesday at Fratton Park, which we're looking forward to. It's great to go to a championship ground like that. Rogers across to Bryant, looking for some support. Woolley's made the run, but underneath it was Danny Dixon. Loose ball, well collected though by Bright. Collected though in return by Dario Meadows. And here's Stevenson. Phillips. So another 3 minutes to play then, when the 45 has elapsed, and we're into that 3 minutes now of stoppage time.
Just need to finish the half strong now.
Who do you think will go in at half time the happiest then, Carl?
It's been pretty even. I think whoever finishes the half the strongest. The RAF are looking strong.
Gray. Bit of tidying up of the damage there, or they thought it was a bit of tidying up, but it was a bit tricky there. Liam Silver going back to help out, and in the end, Luke Kearney having to mop up the damage. You said looking the strongest. It's the RAF at the moment, Carl, isn't it?
Momentum seems to have swung again. Back in the RAF favour for me. Need to work harder to look after the ball.
Gray then with the throw. Ayat.
That's better.
That's good work from him, but well challenged by Johnny there. Ball goes out to Spalding. Joe Spalding, a real danger on that left-hand side. Comes in, gets the cross in, and on the end of it, what's more was Mike Goddard, and he will feel he should have scored then.
Absolute gift. Yeah, should have scored. No
Unmarked
excuses.
at that near post.
Yeah. Lovely ball in.
Oh, the RAF have had so many chances, haven't they, in this first half? They could be 3 or 4 1 up.
Oh, I don't know who's missed that, to be honest with you. I don't know who's missed it. The goal was gazing at him.
Well, he's shaking his head at the moment in disbelief, really.
But that's confidence. He's got to be thinking. He's thinking he's going to get smashed by the keeper, or he's going to run into the post or something. Because yeah, it's a bread and butter finish.
But again, brilliant work from Joe Spalding, coming in from the left, a perfect cross.
Yeah, Joe Spalding's been the man of the first half for me. Lee Phillips has got his work cut out there. He's just got to get his distances right and get closer to him as the ball's travelling to him, because at the moment the ball's going into Joe Spalding's feet. They're allowing him to turn and run at him, and that's what he doesn't want to be in that position.
Bright down that left-hand side to Spalding, like and here's Spalding once more, beating off a couple of challenges, lays the ball inside to substitute Harbottle. Still got there, does well. Back out to Bright. Bright back to Harbottle, a 1-2. But that was a really important challenge then from Jack Barber. Puts the ball out of play.
He's like an old-fashioned winger, Joe Spalding. You know, when you say get paint on your boots, he's literally staying out there on the touchline with his body in half turn, looking to receive the ball in the half turn. As soon as he gets it, his first touch is in behind, direct.
Well, he's done it for UCAF and he's done it for the RAF in the past.
Yeah.
And that will be the last action of an eventful, exciting first 45 minutes here at the EBB Stadium in this inter-services clash between the Army and the Royal Air Force. It's 1-1 at half-time. Two very different goals, two brilliantly taken goals in their own right. I think Carl would probably say that the Air Force will feel that they should be ahead at half-time.
Yeah, it was an interesting half. The RAF started strong. The stronger of the two teams had a good 20-minute spell. Then obviously got their goal. And the Army, we came back, brought it to 1-1 and got the momentum. And then the momentum swung back in the RAF's favour. But I've got to say, Joe Spalding's looking very lively out there. And I think if I was the manager now, I'd be looking at him and trying to do something about him.
Yeah, because time and again, Lee Phillips has been found a little bit wanting there on that right-hand side to deal with him. And also, let's face it, the opening goal that the Air Force scored from Henry Jordan, that also came from that left-hand side as well, didn't it? So a lot for both of the coaches to think about. Obviously, the Army know exactly what they're doing when it comes to set pieces, and that was a brilliant equaliser, which was scored there, of course, by Sean Woolley. We know what he can do from set pieces, but from open play, the RAF have certainly had the better of it in that first half. We've got 15 minutes break now, loads of other forces sport going on. We'll be back with you very, very soon.
It's right across the box, it's a big chance.
Great play by the Navy there, fantastic football.
And it's a goal! The Army have an all-important second goal.
Full time in this match, thrilling stuff, especially in the second half.
One game plan, and it's paid off.
Probing to try and create this first real opportunity of the game. That's a good flick. And now there's a chance for Hurd into the penalty area. Gaz Hurd and a ball across and a chance for the Navy. Good save by Matt Laycock. It's actually gone low and bounced across, and has it gone in? It still hasn't.
Whoa.
All eyes on the referee. He looks to his linesman. There's not going to be a goal somehow. Here's Randall. Keeps hold of it and away from Vincent. Campbell looking to make space in the penalty area. But Randall will go for goal. It's bounced. And McCormick just for a second lost control of it. Joe Spalding is intercepted well there though. Holmes just caught in his heels. Goddard looking for Campbell, who's pulled away to the left. And Campbell into the penalty area. Great ball, and it's a lovely RAF goal.
I thought it was offside. Great goal.
Brilliant stuff. Goddard on the end of it with a diving header. Phil Bright jumping in celebration. That was excellent from the RAF.
Yeah, really good goal.
Anything from Holmes towards that 6-yard box could do damage. In it goes, and the header.
Oh, it's just wide, unlucky.
It is just wide. It was Gaz Hurd who picked himself up to win the header.
Oh, that's a good ball. Okay.
Excellent, and a chance now for the RAF, and the shot from range is
that's good.
Not what Reece Harbottle was looking for. Spalding down the line for Goddard to chase, and Drysdale's got a bit of a problem here, and the two Navy, well, the keeper and the defender got in each other's way, and McCormick does enough.
It's not pretty, but he's done his job.
The Navy bring it forward. Holmes gets it back. Elliot Holmes. Good ball into the penalty area, and the header.
It's in.
And he's off the line, is it? It's going to be a goal.
Yeah, it isn't. It was in.
Laycock did everything he could to keep it out, but Ollie Ward equalises for the Royal Navy. Ollie Ward looking to make something happen. He's got the confidence after the goal.
Well,
can he return the favour for Holmes?
Oh. He's there again, isn't he? He's there again.
Elliot Holmes at Shrewsbury for the Royal Navy against this RAF team. It's the same old story, and the Navy have turned it right around the RAF. Well, they've capitulated on home turf. Here's Elliot Holmes driving into the penalty area for the Navy. Elliot Holmes, great save.
He's done well, Dan. What a save that was, because that was game over.
Josh Randall into the penalty area, just asking a bit too much. Chance for Harbottle. The Navy then looking to win it. Powell. Drysdale.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Game over.
Brilliant from the Navy in this second half. They've deserved every goal they've got.
Yeah, they have.
And the experienced Mark Drysdale puts the icing on the cake. Have they got one last counter-attack in them? Phil Bright chasing back, the Navy running down the clock.
Great fitness.
And a Navy win in Shrewsbury. Arms up in the air from the Royal Navy bench. That means a hell of a lot, as it should. If you're going to win the Inter-Services Championship, you need to make a solid start. And the Royal Navy have done just that. A 3-1 win, a brilliant, brilliant second half. Elliot Holmes at the heart of it. One trophy down. Effectively, they won 3 this year. One for beating the RAF, one for beating the Army, and the overall Inter-Services trophy, 1 down for the Royal Navy. Danny Kerr gets his hands on it. Hi, I'm Kyle Dixon, and this is In Case You Missed It. Looking to the future, the RAF Mustangs American football team have announced a coaching program designed to get more military coaches involved in the game. The first intake, featuring 17 budding coaches, will run from April to June, focusing on classroom learning, mentorship and on-field experience. The best military sliders go head-to-head. The Armed Forces top bobsleigh, luge and skeleton athletes were in action at the Inter-Services Ice Sports Championships in Lillehammer. The Army dominated the individual bobsleigh and luge events, whereas the RAF were golden in the skeleton. Those taking part range from active Olympians, including Team GB's Taylor Lawrence, to novices racing in the competition for the first time. Top tries and tough tackles at the Army Intercorps Rugby Finals. The women's title was won by the Royal Logistic Corps, as Louisa Kundadua was in try-scoring form and caught the eye in a 55-5 win over the Royal Artillery. It was better luck for the Gunners in the men's final, as they won their first Intercorps title since 2020. Army senior team captain Pete Austin was amongst the scorers in a 37-19 victory over the Royal Engineers. Making inter-services football history. Royal Navy sisters Sophie and Natasha Perrin have become the first siblings to play inter-services football on the same side. The pair lined up side by side against the Royal Air Force, with a remarkable 10-year age gap between the two. Army badminton stars versus England's young guns. The Forces team visited the All England event in Birmingham and got the chance to compete against some of the country's best young talent in the England under-17s team. It's been a testing few months for the Army, who also took on the French military in December.
When you first come here, you can be a little bit starstruck by the environment.
There's a lot of heritage. It's most Scotland Cups produced by a single team.
They're obviously stepping up to an extent here, coming to play Champ Rugby, but they've taken that challenge on massively.
Rugby at championship level is a full-time job, but these players already have one in the military, defending their country. So, how do they balance both, and at what cost?
Service life can be demanding at times. You find yourself travelling a lot, it's a lot of miles, it's a lot of time spent on your feet, so you just got to be careful of that.
I think time management has probably been my key for being able to ensure that I can facilitate all of them and keep progressing.
But how have they tackled upping their game to play in the championship? The league just below, where many England players ply their trade.
A lot of fitness, mindset probably towards looking after my body, my understanding and knowledge around set piece, particularly as a forward in a second row, how as a team we approach playing the game, building our own shape and structure into a game and actually controlling that on the pitch, I think is probably something I've learned a lot from.
Can they gather? It is being gathered by the Callum.
We don't have the luxury of being full time, so when we're here we have to make most of the time. It's intense, it's consolidated, but what's good about it is everybody brings you up to that level. There's a lot of good rugby players here, so you kind of have to step up your game in order to fit in.
I think a real sense of physicality. They're all big lads, they're all playing in the pack. So I think they've brought, one, a sense of professionalism, but two, that physicality to our pack, and have really helped buoy the lads in training and games.
Founded in 1878, the club acts as a home away from home for those north of the border.
I love the history of it. I love the fact that whilst I'm down here, down south, it's kind of a little bit of home. And there's all the people that are associated with the club as well. Brian Redpath, Director of Rugby, is a bit of a Scottish rugby legend, so it's good fun.
There's a huge aspiration within the Navy this year to go back-to-back with inter-services. I think as individuals, we all wanted to go away and come back in the best possible condition we could do for the team. I think being here and the more players that we've had playing at a better standard, the quicker we're able to build a squad that has a good level of knowledge, a depth of understanding, and can then really be pushed to the stretch by the training support group we've got down with the Navy team.
The Navy are hoping for more success, but others may have different ideas.
They're a very good team, and then I think they might bring some of the boys from 23s as well. And the Navy, they're defending, and for us, I will try to get a revenge this year.
I mean, it's a dream come true, if I'm honest. Having had multiple knee surgeries, shoulder reconstruction, probably thought I wasn't ever going to come back to the game. Last year I had the honour of pulling on the shirt and being involved in the Army Navy squad. I then got approached by Scottish for the opportunity to come here and pull on this shirt and play rugby in the championship, which is something I never thought would happen. So being back in the sport was a dream alone, and then to play on for two great teams in two amazing stages, yeah, I'm super grateful.
It is Scottish who score a stunning try at their own.
Fantastic start for the red shirts. Start they've been dreaming of. Absolutely fantastic from the left winger for the Royal Air Force.
What a try, what a try from the Army.
It's right across the box, it's a big chance.
Great play by the Navy there, fantastic football.
And it's a goal! The Army have an all-important second goal.
Full time in this match. Thrilling stuff, especially in the second half.
One game plan, and it's paid off.
No.
Well, welcome back here to the EBB Stadium, and my goodness me, there's so much great sport in the military to talk about at the moment, isn't there? And thanks to all the team for their efforts putting all that together. Players coming out onto the pitch now for the start of the second half. I can tell you there will be a change for the Army. Coming on at number 16 will be Franklin Fitzmaurice, and he'll be replacing Dario Meadows wearing number 7. So a bit of a change being made straight away by the Army head coach Alan Brown at the start of the second half. And Carl, obviously we we talked at length about that first half, and two cracking goals in very different ways, weren't they? A brilliant effort, solo effort from Henry Jordan to put the RAF ahead, and then an equally brilliant free kick from Sean Woolley from obviously a free kick given away right on the edge of the box to level it up.
Yeah, they're two great goals, to be fair. I mean, they've probably learnt a lot about each other in the first half. So they say it, the old cliche, it's a game of two halves. Let's see what happens in the second half.
Indeed. Well, just waiting now for the everyone to make their way onto the pitch. While we're talking about that, it would just remiss not to mention one of the stalwarts of Army football, who is, I'm delighted to say, here tonight. His name is Griffiths. Gerwin Griffin, and he has very recently, of course, suffered a very and a horrible family bereavement, and everyone's thinking about him tonight, aren't they, Carl? You know Griff very well.
Know Griff very well, yeah, and he is, excuse the pun, he's a true soldier. He stood by, the person in question for a long time, and he's actually dealing with it very well. But he's a strong lad, he's a very strong character.
Yeah, he's just been, and he's here and he's been talking to us, and I think he's just been really buoyed by the support that he has had from across the military football community, obviously from all his Army colleagues as well who've been thinking about him, and obviously to the family and also to his mum as well. I hope that you're watching tonight, because we know that the whole family's been through it. But lots of thoughts from all of us here at BFBS and from everyone in military football, Griff, for you this evening. Well, we're about ready to start the second half, and we're just waiting for the referee, Sam Hadfield, to blow his whistle, which of course he does. The RAF now playing from right to left in their all-blue strip, and straight away putting some pressure on the Army goal. And here's Joe Spalding on this left-hand side, caused absolute mayhem amongst the Army defence in that first half. Gets a great cross in. Header goes in, and eventually it's cleared away. Mike Goddard got the header in there. The RAF really, by all accounts, should be ahead in this match with the chances that they had in that first half. And they've come out in the second half knowing that they have to get a win here. They've got to win this game here tonight to stand any chance of at least a share of the spoils in this season's Inter-Services Championship. They need a couple of goals really now, and that would level things up in terms of the Inter-Services Championship at the moment, with the Navy having won that first game by 3-1 a couple of weeks ago. Here's Liam Smith.
Yeah, the RAF really inserting dominance straight away, setting the stall out with an early attack, almost scored.
Aaron Ayat's had a magnificent game. We've amongst the mentions, one of them said number 4 for the RAF, a class act. I quite agree. He's been brilliant tonight. He always gives 100%, does Aaron Ayat. RAF player goes down. He's just holding his knee there. I think he fell awkwardly.
Yeah, very tenacious Ayat. Good, strong, stocky build, good on the ball, technically good, and his work rate's been really good as well. So yeah, he is a good player. Good player.
I'm just seeing who is down at the moment. It looked like it could be Mike Campbell, who I think he went up quite severely on that challenge there, and he is struggling at the moment, just being rolled over. He's not a happy man. Mike Campbell, another man who just gives 100% all the time. I was watching The Apprentice last week, and one of the candidates who was facing being evicted from The Apprentice, but said, "Yeah, but Lord Sugar, I'd give 110%." Sugar says, "No one gives 110%." 100% definitely, but no one gives 110% on that pitch. You might disagree with that, Carl. I don't know.
It's hard to get 100% out of people these days. Never mind 110%. That extra 10% that was required.
Well, Mike Campbell has been brought to his feet, which is good to hear. Having the spray on, and the last person who would want to leave that field would be Mikey Campbell. He's hobbling off, but he's almost running it off at the moment. The signal goes up actually to the bench that he seems to be okay. Obviously he's got to wait now for 30 seconds before he's allowed back onto the field again. That is good news. I mean, you know, he's cast out of stone, isn't he, is Mike Campbell?
Yeah, he's a big, strong lad. I'm sure we want to stay involved. But you know, now Alf Rogers, you know, sort of said hello to him. I think Alf Rogers needs to get a little bit tight on him and let him know he's there. You know, and that should have been from the start. So let's see a little bit more of that from Alfie Rogers.
Well, he's back on the pitch. Phil Bright gives it a bit of welly. Not quite sure he intended it to go where it went to, but it's ended up in the arms of the RAF goalkeeper, Matt Laycock. And this is Brodie Gray on that right-hand side. Good work from him. Throw-in goes to the Army, though. Gratefully accepted by Clay Bryant.
Just got to watch their number 10, Goddard, making that third man run through the middle. We just switched off in the middle and let him go.
Yeah, Goddard is dangerous. Yeah. He scored a cracking goal to open the in-services account this season at Shrewsbury 2 weeks ago. Not enough though for the RAF that night, and for the Air Force it would be disastrous for them again if they were to lose tonight, having taken the lead. But a long way to go in this game. 4 minutes played in the second half. It's 1-1. Live here on our Forces News YouTube channel. Wherever you are, you're very, very welcome tonight. Here come the Army once more with Ryan Fagan. Ball goes out to Woolley, Sean Woolley. Good cross comes in. A challenger up for it. That'll be safely in. Oh, I was going to say safely into the hands of the goalkeeper from Phil Bright. Wasn't quite sure whether Laycock could come a bit too far. From our angle here, it looked like it might have gone over his head.
Nice and relaxed.
Oh, that's a lovely touch there. Brilliant touch from Josh Story-Randall on that right-hand side. Challenges a couple of defenders. Still going. Gets the shot in. Spalding, challenged by Lee Phillips. Spalding has had the better of him all night. Can he get the cross in? He can. On the end of it is an Army head. An Army player is down at the moment, and it looks like it's Clay Bryant who is down. Again, he's holding his head there. So
but the difference there between the RAF and the Army at the moment is their wingers are so direct. Every time they receive the ball, it's on the half turn, and their first touch is in behind, and they just want to run at our players. I haven't seen that from the Army. So we just need to inject a little bit of energy, maybe a little bit of pace, and give them something to think about, because at the moment it seems like our defenders are running back towards their own goal, and the RAF have got everything in front of them. So you can see the subs warming up now. Maybe Al has he's given something to think about.
It's been more of the same, hasn't it, actually, Carl, thinking about it. This is exactly how, you know, we had it in the first half, that all the play really had come from the RAF. They had the most meaningful play of the two for extended periods. The Army had obviously had some spells themselves where they, you know, were looking good.
The RAF seem to have clearer attacking patterns than us. You know, they're not just getting it and going forward in hope. You know, they've got clearer attacking patterns.
They've got the players who can do it. You know, they've got players who are used to playing alongside each other.
Yeah.
Dixon.
Johnny, Kishore and Johnny's He's working hard.
He's run all night, hasn't he?
Yeah. But maybe just needs to be a little bit more intelligent with his runs. They say, you know, a forward is only as good as the service or the balls that he's getting, but sometimes the forward has got to create his own chances. We'll see a little bit more from him.
Fitzmaurice, the substitute, wearing number 16, and saying he's come on in the second half for Dario Meadows, wearing number 7. So the Army making their first change. Woolley, good work from him. Well, some pretty hefty challenges going in there. That was a challenge then on Reece Harbottle. Referee said it was an unfair one. It looked like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other to me, but there we go. That was the decision by referee Sam Hadfield. And Harbottle is still down on the pitch. So we've already had 2 or 3 decent length stoppages in this first half. But we are all square at 1-1.
It's almost, he rode the first tackle, Sean Woolley, and then sort of fell into the second tackle, but I think he was well within his right to go for the ball. Both of them went for it.
Just a few messages. Zara Woolley says, class goal from my little bro, come on the Army. A little message as well from George Haynes, come on RAF boys, come on lads up the Army, says Yankee Yon. And let's go RAF, says Brighty's mum. I knew you would get in on the act somewhere tonight. So Harbottle having to go off. It looks like he is going to be able to carry on though. Just wait for that mandatory 30 seconds before he's allowed back on the pitch. Mike Campbell seems to be none the worse for his adventures. He's running around like the spring chicken that he is. Woolley. Well, there was an offside there, clear offside, unfortunately for the Army, and against Kershaw and Johnny, which the referee allows play to go on. Header from Campbell, just trying to release there Story Randall, but it was just a bit too far for him. Gray. And here's Liam Smith.
Good.
Nice challenge on Aaron Iyett, a brilliant challenge. Woolley just tries a little through ball for Johnny. Not quite working between those two, is it, at the moment? They're just not quite on the same wavelength. But,
you can see what Sean was trying to do there. I think Johnny had ran probably 20 yards after the ball. He's probably trying to catch a rest, but there's no time to rest, you know.
Good challenge by Jack Barber there on probably the first time he's won something against Aaron Iyett. Army, though, coming back into
might see some around the back door.
Dangerous territory here for the RAF. This is great work from Fagan. Ryan Fagan still has it. Here's Woolley on that far side into the penalty area, gets the shot in. Goalkeeper makes the save. That really is the first meaningful save that Matt Laycock has had to make in this game. But it's much better from the Army.
Good.
Phillips back to his goalkeeper, back to Luke Kearney. If you're just joining us, 1-1. That was the half-time score. Superb early goal from the RAF's Henry Jordan. The reply on the half hour, a really brilliant free kick from Sean Woolley. And here is Woolley on the ball now. Decides to go all the way back to Craig Stevenson, who has the ball now.
Steve has just got to open his hips there and look forward and receive the ball.
Air Force still playing a pretty high line, aren't they, here? Yeah. We can see it very clearly from our position here, Carl. And, you know, and this young lad, well, Kershaw and Johnny, he's running his heart out. He must have covered every blade of grass on this pitch so far.
Yeah, he's chasing everything. He's just got to be intelligent and make sure he doesn't wear himself out. If they're going to press, they need to press as a unit. So I think he went from the right centre-back to the keeper.
Really important clearance then from Danny Dixon. The Army, though, not able to exploit it any further. And here's Matt Laycock. He's first season in the team. He has had a call-up for UCAF as well this season as well, which is it's great to see a young player like him getting these opportunities, especially when he's up against the likes of Pollitt-Brigg, Christian Pollitt-Brigg, who has made the UCAF place his own, and of course Luke Kearney as well. Ayat. Everything revolves around this man in midfield. But that's brilliantly cut out by the Army, and still coming forward is Silva.
It's a good effort.
Yeah, great efforts. And really the first time that we've seen Johnny get a chance, really. But
just played the ball in behind him there. I'd rather see the ball played down the side of the centre half for him to run onto. He's got the legs, put it in front of him and let him run onto it, maybe get a tap in or a toe poke. He's sort of had to check back, which then gives the defenders a chance to get back behind the ball.
Campbell beats off a challenge, looking just to put his man forward on that far side, but unfortunately Josh Story-Randall didn't read the script on that one. But the RAF building once more on the halfway line. They look dangerous every time they go forward. That's a ball aimed very much for Joe Spalding, but well cut out in the end. It was a good challenge then from Lee Phillips. Phil Bright goes cross field. It's headed clear by Woolley. Only though as far as Dixon. Aaron Ayat.
I think Johnny is starting to feel the effects of all the running he's been doing. And we're probably looking at a change shortly by Al Brown.
Yep, it wouldn't surprise me.
Legs.
He has got a few options to play with. Harry Beckley has been known to score a couple of goals. That's a lovely ball across to Woolley. He's beaten the offside trap. Challenged by Brodie Gray. Woolley comes in field, puts the shot in, but the keeper right behind it again. That's the second time that Sean Woolley has got in behind the defence and threatened the RAF goal.
That's better. Well done, Rogers. Momentum swaying again. Just got to keep a foot on the pedal now.
Fitzmaurice. Spalding. Is well challenged by Ryan Fagan there.
Yeah, good to see. It's what you do when you lose the ball.
And here's Fagan again. And a real charge from Lee Phillips to get it, but it's just going to be a little bit too far for him. But this game has really opened up now, hasn't it?
Yeah, momentum swaying backwards and forwards, you can see. What's interesting is the reaction of the players when they lose the ball, and they're really working hard to get the ball back, which shows there's still a lot of passion there. Sean Woolley's creating his own chances out there. Intelligent play from him. It's when the chances stop being created, that's when we've got to worry, but at the moment, it can go either way.
Both of these teams want this so much, don't they? You can tell. There's a real spirit about both of them.
100%. Like I said, it's the biggest game for me. Personally, it's the biggest game in the IS in services. RAF Army always has been.
That's a lovely bit of work from Barber. Goalkeeper makes the save. End to end, just going from one end to the other at the moment, but that was just a little bit too far for Story-Randall to get.
Barber showing his class there. Defender got too close, Barber backed into him, rolled him, and created a good chance. Good save from the keeper.
Who has taken a knock here has Matt Laycock. Goalkeepers don't tend to go down too quickly. Just really seeing what he did there. Was it when he was making the clearance, perhaps? He's not happy, and I think he's waving at his bench. I think that he might be having to leave the field. And he's shaking his head, doesn't look too happy. So the referee is allowing play to go on for the moment. This will be a throwback to Luke Kearney, his opposite number, but just keeping an eye on Matt Laycock there. Maybe he is okay. Not quite sure what that was all about. Fine challenge. Phil Bright does not win the throw, and he thinks he's got it, but he hasn't. Took a deflection off him. He's unhappy with that decision, but the referee has given it to the Army, which Lee Phillips will take. It's getting very competitive out there. Here's Campbell. Just can't shake off, though, Liam Silver. But he has won it back again. And here's Spalding. Danger man on this left-hand side. Plays it in field as far as Goddard. That's lovely control. The flag did not go up against Kershaw and Johnny. I think he thought he was offside.
Yeah, he looked offside from here.
But the flag did not go up. So
it was a good ball, but again, it's in behind. It's in front of their defence. We need to, if you're going to turn them, get them running towards their own goal.
Campbell wins that header. A challenge with Alfie Rogers, but fortunately for the Army, it didn't come to anything.
Good play.
Nice control. Great shielding work from Sean Woolley. Just a little bit wayward, that pass, but the Army still have it. And they have it with Barber.
Just a bit reactive from Johnny there as it goes back, as the ball's set back to Alfie. You're looking for that running behind. You can see where Alfie's going to play it. He's looking for him to run in behind there.
So which way is this going to go? It's so tight at the moment. The Army have been the stronger in these last, 10 minutes or so. Just past the hour mark here in Aldershot. It's 1-1 between the British Army and the Royal Air Force. These games are always so tight and competitive. That's a fantastic ball through from Reece Harbottle. But, goalkeeper Luke Kearney gets there first.
Lovely touch from Woolley.
Yeah, he's certainly got the touch, hasn't he?
Well, that's what you get from him. He's an older head now, and he knows when to relax. He knows when to slow the tempo down.
Okay, the Army have it then with Liam Silver. Hopeful ball perhaps, which is well dealt with by Phil Bright. Been an outstanding servant to RAF and UCAF footballers, Phil, over the last few years. And here's Spalding, approaching the edge of the box. Plays it to Campbell. Back to Spalding again. Looking for a space to get a shot in, but really well challenged there by Alfie Rogers. Ball comes in. Shot comes in, and it's just wide. Well, it was a real opportunity there for the Air Force again. Army defence just slightly hesitant. And we are going to get now a couple of changes. So the RAF are bringing Brodie Gray off, and they're going to replace him with Rio Ward at number 12. So Brodie Gray is making way. Not often you see a player like Gray making way. Perhaps he's got a slight injury, don't know. So Rio Ward comes on then for Gray, and also coming off for them is Michael Campbell, who has put a shift in, as he always does, for the Air Force. He's being replaced by George Pinder, young striker.
Johnny.
So that's the end of Mike Campbell's inter-services season. For another year, will we see him again in 2027? I suspect the answer to that question, Carl, is yes.
Yes, 100%. Stop playing when your legs stop working.
Army also making a change. Coming off for them is Jack Barber. Again, he's done well. And coming off is Kershwin Johnny, who you made the right call there, that maybe he was had run his course a little bit. Barber, Johnny's replaced actually by Harry Beckley, number 17, as we thought, and number 18 has come on for them, Miles Polius as well. So the changes being made by the Army. It's to say Jack Barber has come off as well. So a few alterations then to both squads.
Yeah, a fit Harry Beckley is a good little player, really good player. So it'll be interesting to see what impact he makes now. And obviously, as we know, they're not substitutes anymore; they're impact players, aren't they? So
of course,
let's hope they come on and make an impact. The young lad that's come on the wing, who we're looking at, Bryant Polius. Okay, it'd be nice to see him being a little bit direct, if possible, getting him in behind.
Spalding. Yes, impact players. We don't call them subs. You're quite right.
Yeah,
they're called interchanges in rugby league. They're called replacements in rugby union.
Yes,
and they're impact players in football.
Go and make a difference. Go on and make a difference.
Yeah. Well, that's clearly offside there against Ryan Fagan. Just timed his wrong run incorrectly. So approaching 70 minutes, 68 gone here. 1-1 between these two teams. Not a lot between them at the moment. You just get the feeling that the next goal could decide it, but we tend to see a flurry of goals in this match. When one team scores, suddenly there becomes a whole load of others, but they come along like London buses. But we're waiting for the number 16 bus at the moment.
The next goal could come from a set piece. Could come from a set
well,
piece.
It could, but there again, it could come from open play. So we're hedging our bets here, Carl. Here's Aaron Hyatt. Early touch then for the RAF substitute, number 16, George Pinder. Don't know too much about him actually. He's been brought in at a latter stage into the competition. Nothing in my notes about him, but the coaches, of course, have that right to bring in players whenever they want. It's not cast in stone. Good header from Sean Woolley, and he's set Ryan Fagan off here. Goalkeeper makes the clearance.
First contact. There, good to see.
Yeah, you mentioned first contact, and that was clearly Liam Silver at his very best there.
Yeah.
You just think at the moment, Carl, things are the balance tipping over towards the Army in terms of what they could bring here, but they just seem a bit stronger on the ball. They're 50-50 balls are going more their way.
Yeah, you mentioned the finish, or how the RAF finished the game last week.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it might be a repeat.
So it's great work. So the final ball from Polius there just let him down. He'd worked so hard on there. Here's Spalding. He's a player who can win a game on his own, and he's absolutely magnificent work from him. Goes out to Pinder, edge of the box, gets the shot in. Great save from the goalkeeper.
The second ball there.
But an opportunity still for the Air Force here with Ward. Here's Rio Ward. Referee said that was offside. Was it offside? No, it was a foul. But,
yeah, it's a foul.
Well, there's a warning for the Army there that the RAF's so dangerous, and the man again who threatens almost single-handedly to score is Joe Spalding, who I think has had a magnificent game for the RAF tonight.
Yeah, he's been the standout player, and Steve-O definitely can't afford to get isolated against him, especially when it comes to pace. So it's a let-off there, and it's a great save from Kearney, and they've reacted first. It was actually the same player that reacted and got on the ball.
Yep.
You know, could have been punished there.
Yep. Yeah, so Pinder and Ward have come on as replacements for the Air Force. So like-for-like substitutions. Here's the Army captain, Craig Stevenson.
Touch.
That's a lovely bit of work there from Polius. Well, that was a hefty challenge going forward.
Balls there to
but
be
here's Sean Woolley, beats off one challenge, tries to get the cross in. He's still going on his own, but it's well cut out there by another outstanding player this evening for the Air Force, Aaron Ayat, who has been absolutely magnificent in midfield. He's still got it, and he plays it now on the left-hand side to Phil Bright. Wants it back again. Instead, it goes back to Liam Smith.
It was great work there by Polius as the ball came up to him. He held it up really well. He set it back to Silva, and Silva's looked up, and the two forwards are running away from him. He just needs somebody to step in there, somebody's come to play off.
Bright spots the gap. Out to Spalding, wide on this left-hand side. He'll take his man on. He'll take several players on. Gets a cross in. Dealt with by the Army defence in the end, but only as far as Aaron Ayat. Ayat's going to go for goal. Well, it was worth a try. It was certainly worth an effort there from Aaron Ayat, but it goes high and wide in the end, and County doesn't have to make a save.
It's the first time we've seen a shot from distance or from that distance, but like I say, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Anything can happen. But yeah, I just want to see a little bit more from our forwards now. They just need something to play off.
73.5 minutes gone, and it remains deadlocked at 1-1 in this inter-services clash between the Army and the RAF. Which way is this going to turn in this last quarter of an hour? It's been a really good second half, really tight. Army have had probably the best chances actually in the second half. 2 Sean Woolley attempts, which were saved by the goalkeeper. The RAF have been consigned really to shots from outside the box. We're short of a football, which is not good news. As the latest commuter train rustles through Aldershot on its way back up north again. Good little turnout this evening here at the EBB tonight for this game. It's good to see a healthy attendance of genuine football fans coming here to cheer on both the Army and the RAF. I'd imagine maybe a few from RAF Odium have made the trip up, which is not too far from here.
It's like a larger attendance than my local team, Leicester City, at the moment. Got a bigger attendance here.
Don't tell me your team is Leicester City.
Yeah, it is.
It's mine as well, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, and Sean Woolley too. I'm afraid the less said, the better at the moment, Cole, about what's going on at the King Power Stadium.
Yeah, what's going on?
What at the moment is going on is relegation to League One, unfortunately.
So
but there's still a few games to go. But focusing on what really matters tonight here, this inter-services clash, and that's going to roll out of play for Lee Phillips. I generally had no idea that you were a Fox like me.
I am, yeah, indeed. My son actually plays in the academy there. He's been there since he was 9. So he's
we could do with him in the first team.
100%. We've said it.
I think the future for a lot of clubs like Leicester are the young players, the youth team players, and the under-21s and whatever. And that also is true, of course, at military level football too. And it's great to see some young players coming out and getting an opportunity, having maybe succeeded at under-21 or come into the military and joining the football. But
yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I was having a chat with Griff earlier on, and quite a few of these players come from his 23s team, which was a sense of pride for him there.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the Army women play tomorrow, because they've got an awful lot of young players who come through the academy. So there are going to be a couple more changes for the Royal Air Force. Coming on for them is number 18, that is Ryan Mulligan, and I think he's replacing, I think, Josh Story Randall. In fact, he's being replaced by George McCowie. So McCowie comes on. So I think that is 4 changes that the RAF have made. In fact, 5. That's all the changes. I think I'm not quite sure if they're allowed to make more, but they've certainly had they had to make 1 enforced change, of course, in the first half. But a real changeover, and how will that affect how they play?
Well, fresh legs go one of both ways. Either the chemistry will break down for the RAF, or they'll hit the ground running and take full advantage of the energy levels.
Smith. And straight away getting involved is number 15 for them, George McCowie. Okay, here's Polius. Goes outside the fellow substitute, Harry Beckley. Beckley, a danger man. In fact, the Army haven't actually won a single corner so far in this match, which is testament to the Air Force defence. Cross comes in from the right-hand side from Best.
Oh.
Karen Best has come on.
4v4.
Now, here's Joe Spalding. What can he do? Sweeps into the middle of the field, still looking for some support. Eventually finds it from Aaron Ayat. Through ball. That's a really good defensive work. Great work there from Craig Stevenson to cut out the danger. Phil Bright's going to go in there, and eventually the ball is cleared away by the Army.
Again, it's that transition again. You know, Lee Phillips got caught out, but he did really well to get it back. He's ran 40 yards and then actually intercepted Joe Spalding as he cut inside. He did well there.
Aaron Ayat, again, everything starts with him. Rogers. Phil Bright will try and keep it in. He just can't in the end. It just bounced just in front of him in the wrong way and goes out of play. So, into the last 10 minutes of normal time here at the EBB Stadium. And it remains 1-1 between the British Army and the Royal Air Force. Are we going to get a decider? Are we going to get a deciding goal? Parity is no use to the Air Force. That will definitely mean they can't win this season's championship. And a draw would be ideal for the Royal Navy, of course, because they would know that all they would need then next week at Fratton Park would be a draw themselves to win the Inter-Services title back. But both of these teams are desperate for that not to happen.
Good to see from Ryan Fagan, still working his socks off, closing things down. That's what you want from your midfielders.
I mean, I think, you know, what I'll take from this game, Carl, is that every single player in both teams has worked their socks off tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody has worked so hard out there. Beckley gets the cross in. Goalkeeper will come for it. But well,
defending with his
it's
eye.
good defensive work in the end, but it was a bit of a mix-up, wasn't it? Just a bit of indecision there at the back. And Sean Woolley was very nearly in for his second goal.
He did well to back into the defender. He pinned the defender and actually won his own sort of flick on, half flick on, and he was the first to react. Keeper did well to show him away from the goal. They're just then able, the two defenders, to get back behind the ball and engage at the right time. But again, it's just a direct ball into the box. You know, they're struggling to deal with that, and we need to recognise that as the Army and maybe do it a little bit more. Sometimes you have to win ugly.
Well, it's looking a bit ugly out there at the moment, with Harbottle going in for the challenge. And the referee says play on. I think that Mike Gondel was hoping for a bit more than that. But the Air Force still have it on that far side of the field from our position here.
Fagan is making those runs in behind, and I think...
Well, that was a late challenge.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and this time Harbottle will win the free kick. Just a few instructions being issued from the touchline to Phil Bright, who's just come in field. Just getting some instructions. RAF still feel they can win this to give themselves a chance of a share of the title. Ideally they need 2 goals here to make up for the 3 they conceded against the Navy. So it's a good free kick coming in.
Got to be deal with it.
Eventually the Army do deal with it, but it took a while. It was a good free kick actually from Rio Ward. Just caused lots of danger, and that is going to be another corner for the RAF. It's their first of the second half, their 4th of the game. So the Army haven't actually had a corner kick in this match.
Well, one moment of quality could decide this.
Well, you said a set piece. Aaron Hyatt with the corner.
Well defended.
It is well defended at near post. Hyatt again gets another cross in, looking for a light blue head. It's again well defended by the Army. It's going to be brought out by Sean Woolley. He goes from one end to the other.
Yeah, I was going to say, he'll give it you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the goalkeeper decided not to pick it up, but he did kick it.
Keep him facing that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and calm again. So, who's that? Is it Silver? Is it?
It's Aaron Hyatt there, number 4, who's had a great game.
Yeah, he's played well.
But the RAF are giving it away. Woolley has a chance. In fact, it wasn't Sean Woolley in the end. It was Harry Beckley who just sensed an opportunity there on the edge of the box. Possibly the best chance that the Army have had in the second half.
We said one moment of quality. It wasn't quite quality, but...
And a mistake at the back from the Air Force. Now, here comes Mael Palaeus. Still going. Phil Bright makes a really important challenge, though, for the Air Force to get that ball back to his goalkeeper. This game really spreading out now, widening out. Ball goes in and an offside decision.
Good line from the Army defence there. Good line. Let him drift off.
A couple of players suffering from cramp. Mike Goddard has gone down suffering from cramp. I think as well Liam Silver is struggling too. I'm not surprised. All these players have run their hearts out.
Well, it always surprises me when people go down with cramp. You know, it's preparation. You know, get the salt sachets on and a bit more water in the system.
Sounds as if you're speaking from bitter experience there, Carl. Yeah. Well, it's been great having you alongside tonight and giving your perspective on this. I think you said it's rather nicer that being up here than it is down in the dugout.
Yeah, definitely. I was a bit anxious beforehand, but it's nice to be on this side of the fence. You know, watching the preparation, watching Al. You know, the butterflies started the tingling sensations in the stomach before the game. But knowing that it wasn't me having to give the team talk and stand on the sideline, kicking every ball, heading every ball, it was nice to know up this side just watching.
Well, Ward wins a throw in on the far side. Rio Ward. And he'll take a longish throw aimed into that penalty area. Let me get it clear eventually. Here's Phil Bright. He's well challenged there. Army good counter-attacking, good counter-challenging and pressing. But it's the RAF with Joe Spalding. He loses out in the end. The chase is on.
1v1, get at him.
And that's really great work from Fagan. He's got it onto his right foot. Oh, and that's a great save. Brilliant defensive work from the Air Force. And the man who came back to help out there was Rio Ward. It was a great bit of defensive work, and the goalkeeper, between them, they smothered that opportunity. But
did really well.
Brilliant stuff from Ryan Fagan there. The way he jinked and turned, got it onto his right foot. He must have thought he'd scored.
Rio Ward has actually ran probably about 40 yards to get across there.
Well, he took the long throw, didn't he, over on that?
Did.
You know, deep in Army territory.
Love to see it, and that's what it means to the lads. That's what it means to the lads out there.
It's giving 100%. And this is the Army's first corner of the game. Now, what can they achieve with this? It's being taken by Lee Phillips.
Set pieces win games.
The header comes in. Oh, and it's over the bar. There are a few Army fans here who thought that was in the back of the net. But it was a really good header, and I think it was Craig Stevenson, wasn't it? Steve-O on the end of that.
It was Steve-O, yeah. I was waiting to see how they were set up on the set piece, because I know Al Brown puts a lot of time into it. So it's all about that first contact, which he got.
Wouldn't it be ironic if the Army won this with the second set piece, having already equalised from a set piece in the first half? A strong push there by Mike Goddard. Didn't get away with it.
Oh, Alfie Rogers, get yourself in there, son. Go on.
So, Rogers is moving up for the free kick, and it's actually going to be Luke Kearney is going to take it. Into the last couple of minutes of normal time here. Kearney takes it short. Fagan just couldn't quite turn it. He was well marshalled by the Air Force defence. Aaron Hyatt, great challenge from him. The overhead kick from the captain, Craig Stevenson. That would have been some goal, wouldn't it?
Good.
Army still pressing here.
Again, it's 1v1.
Ryan Fagan, can he get it on? He's got it in his left foot this time. Good defensive work from Rio Ward, who has impressed since he came on. Great energy that he's shown at both ends of the field. Headed forward by Pinder. Just trying to relieve the pressure. The Army really mounting some pressure at the moment. Offside though against Sean Woolley. RAF will take it quickly. Is that a little bit too quick? But Phil Bright.
Don't let him make too much ground up.
And Aaron Hyatt, lots of space for him. Decides to go down the middle, but it's cut out. Hyatt will claim it back, wins it back, but it was a late challenge, says the referee, and that could be a yellow card for Aaron Hyatt there for that challenge on Mael Polias. Full-blooded, to say the least.
Yeah, the problem with that is, it's a 50-50 challenge, and if you don't go in full-blooded, then you're going to come out injured. And he sort of Polias dangled a leg there. I'd rather have seen him got in full-blooded.
So Luke Kearney's going to take this again into the last minute of normal time here. Just 15 seconds to go. Are we going to be stuck at 1-1? There'll certainly be plenty of stoppage time. Just about to see. It looks like it's going to be 6 minutes being held up by the fourth official, Dave Morey. 6 minutes to settle this, or is it going to be locked at 1-1? Here's Joe Spalding. He can't find a way through. The Army now looking for a way through. Here's Fagan. There's an offside. The flag doesn't go up in the end, but there were a couple of Army players there who had strolled into offside positions.
Fine margins and details, and the detail of the pass, the detail of that wasn't quite there.
Both teams have had opportunities to win this, haven't they, Carl? Yeah. The Army, the better ones in the second half, and the RAF certainly the best in the first half, but haven't taken their chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said at half time, it's a game of two halves, and I think it's been pretty even throughout, hasn't it?
It has. But two good teams here. It's quality forces football we've seen here tonight. Good challenge going in again from Rio Ward. He'll take the throw. Is he going to go long? He goes short in the end. Looks for Hyatt, who's challenged. Ward will have it back.
Out the box. Yeah, Alfie Rogers telling them there.
Into that box. Army have got some defending to do. Once again, Aaron Hyatt, and this time it is Joe Spalding. Tries to spread it wide to Phil Bright on the left-hand side, but it doesn't reach him.
To get up and support him.
Here's Liam Smith. That's really nice play from Polius there. Looks a very dangerous player, but Fagan was offside. He was definitely an offside. And they might argue about it. I think Fagan realised he was in offside position and tried to, but he was interfering with play, wasn't he? So
yeah, absolutely.
It was the right decision.
Well, we're in line with them.
There's a certain amount of disagreement going on, obviously, from Craig Stevenson, the captain. Feels it was an unfair decision, but I think when he looks back at it, he'll realise that it was the right decision. Sean Woolley again, surprisingly enough, arguing the decision. But we know we're going to get that with Sean, because it means so much to these guys. Anyway, free kick then, Matt Laycock to take. We're 2.5 minutes into the 6 allocated of stoppage time, and it remains 1-1. Now,
direct.
Here's Sean Woolley. Real opportunity. It's 2 against 2 at the moment. Philip Bright charging back. That's going to be a kept in play. I thought it was going to head out for a corner, but here go the Air Force. They're looking for a winner. And that's a brilliant run down that left-hand side from George McCowie. Still going. Doesn't know where it is, but he's still got it. Can he get the cross in? He can. Very important header there from Rogers. Here's Bright. Phil Bright beats off 1 challenge, beats off 2. Which way is this going to go? It's absolutely frantic out there. Both of these teams still pushing for a winner. Ward. To Mulligan, and here's Mulligan, still going, he'll go for a shot, takes a deflection, and that will be a corner kick. Yet another corner to the Air Force. It's their second of the second half.
Really got to switch on now.
And we really are in the very last few moments. 94 minutes played here of the 96 allocated. What can the RAF do? It could just about go anywhere. Turned away, and the man who got the shot in the end was Mike Goddard, but he couldn't just quite connect on it. So it goes out for a goal kick.
Just watching Goddard, a good movement from Goddard. He just keeps pulling off Steve O's shoulder there and trying to mark in between. Just got to keep an eye on him.
Well, it looks like we're heading for parity then, as we are just approaching this last of the 6 allocated extra minutes. It remains 1-1. It's a still opportunity. These players playing to the final whistle. Aaron Ayatt across here to the left-hand side to Phil Bright. Joe Spalding charging, claiming it on the edge of the box. A hooked ball going forward by Goddard, but it's safely in the hands of Luke Candy, who very quickly delivers it. Looked very tight on the offside, but the referees allow play to go on.
Here we go.
Pinned.
Thought about it.
Army still going with Fagan. Opportunity lost, is it? Oh, and my goodness me. That was the last opportunity. Probably Harry Beckley puts that high and wide, and with it, probably the chance has gone for a winner in this game.
Yeah, I was surprised he came back there. I would have took him to the byline and try and get a corner and get the big guns in the box, but he decided to go back. Always difficult ball to hit on the first time on the run.
All eyes on the referee, but we're still going on.
Go on then, son.
And here's Fagan. Nice control from him. He's being challenged by Ward. Fagan still has it. Lays it inside. Here's Polius. Can he curl one round?
Well.
He can! Oh my goodness me! Well, what a goal!
He just swung a leg at it.
Mayo Polius with a superb goal.
Say one moment.
It just crept over, didn't it? Oh, and that's heartbreak for the RAF.
That's brilliant.
But you see what it means to the British Army players.
Phil Bright did so well for the RAF. He delayed, sent him back, and then it looked like he just swung a leg at it.
He just turned it, and absolute mayhem.
They all count.
Everybody is on their feet here, all the Army supporters. Well, he's come on as a substitute, and he's made such a difference. He's got a really great touch of the ball, and he's going to remember that goal for a very, very long time, as are a lot of people here at the EBB Stadium. Well, you play to the final whistle, Carl. You absolutely do. Both teams, to be fair, have done absolutely that.
They have. I love that. I love the fact that none of them have laid down. They've not laid down. They've both rolled the sleeves up, and they've both gone at it. You know.
Well, we really are in borrowed time now. Referee just checking his watch. We've had 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes now stoppage time. What is going to happen? And what's going to happen is that the Army has snatched this by 2-1. Well, what an exciting finish to this game. And it really needed something a bit special in the end. The Army absolutely delighted. The RAF, you have to feel for them, because now twice in this Inter-Services Championship they have led their matches only to suffer at the end, and that is what has happened here to the Light Blues. But both of these teams have given their all and made it a really exciting game tonight, Carl.
Brilliant. I'm just looking at Harry Beckley now. He's walking like he's put a real shift in, you know. And we said at the start of half time, just one magic moment can turn the game on its head. And that's what it was. He was ruthless in the box. Clinical finish.
You've got to feel as well for Matt Laycock there in the RAF goal. Absolutely nothing he could do about it. He's really crestfallen. He's very, very down. He's being supported by his coaching team. They said, look, hey, these things happen. And there was nothing he could do. It just curled into that bottom corner there to give the Army a goal. And what an amazing time to score, eh? You can't do better than that.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, it sets us up now beautifully, of course, for next Wednesday, when it'll be a classic Royal Navy British Army clash at Fratton Park, Portsmouth, the home of Portsmouth Football Club. Play at Pompey. The Pompey chimes will not be chiming next Wednesday. There'll be the chimes of the Royal Navy and the British Army. But well, a few thoughts finally, maybe, Carl, on what's been a great game.
Yeah, I think I will take a lot from that game. You know, I think we started a little bit slow in the first half, came back into the game, but again, the Army's never say die attitude paid off in the end with, I'd say, a scruffy goal, but he went for it, you know, and managed to win the game. Brilliant from the Army, but brilliant from both teams. It was, and all credit to the RAF. They made it a terrific game, and they will feel that they probably had enough chances to win this game in the first half alone. Yeah, definitely. Dangerous in all areas, especially credit to Aaron Ayat. Put a great performance in there for the RAF. Probably my man of the match, if I'm being honest. Yep, I think I would go along with that. Anyway, we've thoroughly enjoyed ourselves this evening. We hope you've enjoyed as well watching. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got more Inter-Services football for you, and that'll be the Inter-Services clash between the Army and the RAF women, and that's obviously happening tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock kickoff. And we are looking forward to that very much. Of course, a victory for the RAF will mean they maintain their record as the champions of Inter-Services women's football. But we are looking forward to that. Please join us at around 2:45 tomorrow from Bracknell Town FC. The presentation's just being made now. We'll just stick around for those, shall we, just for a few moments to see those presentations being made. And the player of the match, I'm not quite sure they'll be doing a player of the match award, but we will find out that very shortly. And all the officials now just received their awards this evening. Sam Hadfield, Michael Clements, Lee Dudlin,
they allowed this game to flow, didn't they, tonight, Carl? And that's really important.
He did. He had a good performance, the referee. Set his stall out early on. He didn't have many problems, and he kept Sean Woolley quiet as well, which is a first. So he's definitely had a good game.
Well, there'll be a lot of celebrating going on amongst those Army players tonight, but they haven't got too much time to celebrate because obviously they've got that. So a trophy now to be presented, and I think it's really good, isn't it, that there is always a trophy at stake for this. And tonight it's going to be the Army captain Craig Stevo Stevenson who receives that trophy, and that is the end as far as we're concerned this evening. So thank you so much for joining us on behalf of Carl, myself and the rest of the team here. Thank you for your time and for joining us this evening here at the EBB Stadium. But from me, John Knighton, don't forget to join us tomorrow, as I say, for the women's game down at Bracknell Town, 3 o'clock kick-off. But from all of us, a very good night.
Right across the box, it's a big chance.
Great play by the Navy there, fantastic football.
And it's a goal! The Army have an all-important second goal.
Full time in this match, thrilling stuff, especially in the second half.
One game plan, and it's paid off.